Hello, welcome back to the show. Sorry we're a little bit late this week. We've had some technical difficulties in the background, and I won't mess around because you guys have already been waiting, but we see you in the chat. Bob, Outbreak Podcast, Web Dave. You're a wizard, Harry. 4GQTV, you guys are all amazing. Thanks for turning up. Toolman55, I appreciate all you guys. I won't mess about. I'll get straight into introductions. We have the Ashen Luca from her own Scumcast and formerly of RDX. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming along.
What's up? Can you guys hear me?
I can absolutely hear you, man. Yeah.
All right, bet. Yeah. What's up, guys? Luca here. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. What have you been up to? What have you been playing this week? Been playing much? You excited for the...
Yeah, I've been playing Remnant for the Ashens on my PC, and then I've been playing Destiny 2 on my Xbox. So that's what I've been doing.
Cool. Doom Cutie, once again, thanks for coming to the show. Doom Cutie, how you doing? Welcome to the show. How's your week been? I know you had a bit of a rough couple of days there. But what have you been playing? What have you been up to?
Hey, lovelies. How you going? Thanks so much for everyone tuning in. This week, I've been playing so much Fortnite. I think I might be addicted, guys.
I
know. You do not approve, although Pete and I, we had a fantastic session last night, didn't we, Pete?
Yeah, it was awesome. Like, what, 5, 6 games? All because of me, of course, but, carried the team.
Everyone's getting kicked from the show. Pete! Pete, how you doing, man? Welcome back. Come every week.
Yeah, really good. Yeah.
I'm not going to ask what you've been
mate,
playing.
yeah.
I'm not asking what you've been playing after that. I don't want to know.
Well, I'm going to tell you anyway. I've been playing Sniper Elite 5. Anyone that cancelled their Game Pass subscription is missing out on this amazing game. Yeah, really, really great game. You can see it on screen at the moment. Yeah, really, really fun.
That's Battlefield at the moment.
That's Battlefield, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they look similar.
Absolutely love Sniper Elite 5. Not too far into it. Run into a few bugs, but nothing that is deterring me from playing it more. And yeah, jumped to some Fortnite last night with Doomy and a few other friends and had a great time.
Yeah. Real gamers don't play Fortnite. Red Dead Panda, how
Well,
you
you're
doing?
not invited.
I don't want to come. I don't want to shoot 11-year-olds. I think it's wrong. You guys should all be ashamed of yourself. Well, welcome back to the show, Red Dead Panda, coming in at short notice. I think that was 30 seconds, right? It's
amazing, like that, yeah.
Amazing to have you back. How was your podcast this morning? I didn't get a chance to see it. I was sleeping.
It was really good. We had the new legal on and just Ashtray, Elite, and myself as per usual. Just talking shit. What we do, having a good laugh while doing it. But yeah, thank you for having me on. I was just playing Sniper Elite 5 and co-op with Elite, and he's heading off to bed now, so it's probably a good thing that you pulled us out from that.
Sorry to interrupt your gaming session, Panda. Thank you so much for showing up. I honestly messaged Panda 2 minutes ago. What an absolute superstar.
Yeah. You'll be paying for it later. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, wow, we got Mr. Boomstick in the chat. G'day, Mr. Boom. How you doing? Welcome to the show again. Look, I'll get straight into topics and won't mess around, but I will say, look, Umbra, I think, has had a bit of a rough week, and he's just taking a little bit of a hiatus. He may pop in a bit later. He may not. We'll see what happens, but it's all good. We'll move straight into the topics of PlayStation. They had their little state of play. And look, I don't know. Personally, I thought it was okay. It was good. I mean, it was full of third parties, which is a bit of a bonus if you're an Xbox player. What did we have? They showed us Resident Evil 4 Remake, Resident Evil Village on PSVR, the Walking Dead on VR, Horizon Call the Mountain on VR, a lot of VR games, Spider-Man coming to PC, and also Miles Morales is coming to PC as well, apparently, in the fall. Stray, which was an absolutely terrible game. No one will play that.
I'm going to play that.
Mean.
I love that.
So mean.
You guys just take the bait every time. Callisto Protocol. Super excited for that. That's from the makers of the original Dead Space. And it looks very Dead Spacey, and I'm pretty excited for that. Rollerdrome, interesting. Looked like a Sable on roller skates. Eternite, Street Fighter 6, Tunic. Well, we've seen that already. And Final Fantasy, was it 16 we up to now? 124?
16.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 238. So that's pretty exciting. Never played one of those before. So Panda, what did you think of the state of play?
Well, it didn't really have any games for you, Risket. No, Barbie Simulator or My Little Pony or anything.
Yeah, it wasn't. No
Yeah.
butterfly. Yeah.
Yeah, no butterfly.
Oh, so gonna regret asking Panda on
She's
this.
banned. I'm gonna ban her.
Honestly, I think for me, it wasn't a bad show, and this is me comparing it to other state of plays. It was definitely better than a lot of other state of plays that they've had in the last 18 months.
Mm.
I mean, there wasn't anything that was surprising. I think, like I said, I'm excited for Stray, and I'm really excited that Tunic at least is coming to PlayStation, so they can get to experience that title. Interesting how they were talking about indie trash, and now this game is coming to their side of the world. So, yeah, their side of the aisle. I just laughed at Spider-Man really just coming to PC. That didn't surprise me. We all knew it was coming. It seemed to piss off their community quite a lot because Windows is stealing their games. It's not stealing; they're just making it available to everyone else. Yeah,
Theft.
so I think there wasn't a lot in there for me myself. Like, I'm not a Street Fighter fan, so I didn't really care about that. I do not like Final Fantasy games. I just don't. They just do not hit anywhere with me on that front. Probably why I'm more of an Xbox gamer than a PlayStation gamer, really, probably. But yeah, I think there was a few good things in there, but really it was just I'm looking forward to Stray. Callisto Protocol, that looks creepy as hell, so I'll probably watch someone play that rather than play it myself. Just because I don't like scary games. I'm just a wuss. Yeah.
Awesome. I do love scary games. I'm in the middle of Alan Wake at the moment. Well, not in the middle. I think I'm pretty close to the end, but I'm banging away at like 3 or 4 games at the moment. So I'm pretty excited for Callisto Protocol. I noticed how you use that word gamer very loosely. Ash and Luca, what did you think of the PlayStation State of Play? Anything there for you that you thought you'd be jumping on?
As a show, I thought it was great. Absolutely amazing, actually. Especially since I'm not really a fan of State of Play. I usually find it very boring and I tend to skip out. But I ended up catching this one, and I really liked it. Surprisingly enough, I'm not a fan of VR, but they showed a lot of good VR titles for those who are. And I am a big fan of the Dead Space franchise, though. So I'm looking forward to the Callisto Protocol. I will be on that day one. Other than that, there wasn't really anything in the show for me per se, but it was overall a really good show.
Yeah, they've had some pretty underwhelming shows, I think. The last one wasn't terrible, but it definitely wasn't great. And the one before that was horrific, and not what everyone expected. But there's definitely a massive game missing from the State of Plays. And we talked about that on Bob's show. God of War. Where the hell is God of War? Pete, what do you think's going on there?
Yeah, look, everyone's suggesting that it's going to have its own state of play, and I'm sure that it will. But it's got to be worrisome that they haven't really showed anything for a while, other than Corey Balrog coming out and coming out and saying that it's not ready yet. This game is still meant to hit this year. They haven't nailed down a date yet, which is another thing that I think is quite worrisome. But I actually liked the show. I actually thought it was really, really good. It was good if you were an Xbox gamer. Resident Evil 4, I'm really looking forward to. I'm not a big Street Fighter fan, but that's also coming to Xbox. Callisto Protocol, that game looks amazing. Got a release date, December 2nd. Looks great as well. And it's just funny to see the ponies crying about Spider-Man Remaster coming to PC. That's always a laugh. And The Source at Game On Daily put out a video today. Go watch it. It is absolutely hilarious. One of the best Source videos I've seen in a while.
Awesome. I'll definitely check that out. As soon as the show's moved on, Doom, did you get a chance to watch State of Play? Was there anything in there for you? I know that you hated Stray, and you said you can't believe that someone would release trash like that.
Oh, wow. That's a direct quote, yes? I'm sure you have screenshots of that somewhere.
I got receipts, yeah.
Look, Stray looks like a fantastic, whimsical game that I can just chill out and play in my own time, pick up, put down, that sort of game. Um, yeah, sorry, and it looks beautiful. Like the the screenshot, the game screenshot value of that game will be fantastic. Same with Callisto Protocol. Like, and I don't play many scary games at all. I'm a bit like Panda in that sense. I need someone to hold my hand. Like I need parental supervision when I play those games. Yeah, and often I just get like too anxious about it. But the story looks really good. So I'll probably be like Panda and I'll probably watch someone else play it.
Yeah.
But you know what? I really was sad that there was no God of War. I thought that they would, yeah, like VR just doesn't do it for me. And yeah, they sort of rode that train a little bit. I was in my travels in the Twitterverse. IGN did do a poll and it was like 100,000, 200,000 people, and what they were most excited about from the state of play. And they all said the Resident Evil remake. They were most excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
now
which
it's gone, right? The poster's gone.
No, it's not.
Magic. Yeah, I couldn't
No,
get
it's
into
not.
it.
Oh, I could.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so that was actually really surprising that they, the fans of PlayStation were most excited for that.
yeah, well, look, I'm pretty excited for Resident Evil. When 2 and 3 released, I actually missed the release. I don't know how that went over or under or around me. I completely did not know that they had released. Both 2 and 3 were out when I realized that there had been a remake. And that was because I was down over in Australia. We've got a little store called EB Games, and I was just flicking through the bargain bin, and up popped Resident Evil 2. And man, that game was absolutely amazing. And I really hope with 4 that they kind of go back to what 2 is, because 4 was a very action kind of. It didn't do it for me at all. I mean, it was a good game for what it was, but it didn't feel like a Resident Evil. It was a complete departure from what the Resident Evil series had done up until that point. So I hope the remake kind of sticks to the 2 formula instead of following 4. In a traditional sense. But if you're just joining us, this is Xbox Infinite. Welcome to the show. Please hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe. Let everyone know that we are live and talking about the PlayStation State of Play. Is it? Oh, sorry, I've just moved my screen around because I've just dragged.
I thought you vomited in your mouth for a second, having to say PlayStation.
Now, look, you guys know that God
Shout
of
out
War.
to Itchy Bull Zach in the chat. Great name, mate.
Oh, he's back
Love it.
again. Itchy Bull Zach. Oh, that's clever. Yeah.
Itchy Balzac.
Yeah. That's
How you
clever.
going?
Welcome back,
Do
dude.
you prefer Itchy or?
His name's normally actually Far Q, as in there's actually a place in WA
yeah.
called Q.
Yes, there
and
is.
they have the stickers Far Q because it's obviously out in the outback. Was there any look? So Resident Evil 4. Let's talk about that for a bit. And Resident Evil Village, bringing that back. That was an absolutely amazing game. I do want to try VR. I've never personally tried VR. I didn't have the PSVR 1. But I will be definitely getting the PSVR 2 to check that out. Resident Evil Village looks like one of those games that is absolutely made for PSVR. Even though I've clocked that game, I will definitely go back and check it out in VR. Was there anything in particular, Ashen, that you were really excited about, or are you just a bit?
Well, like I said, the Callisto Protocol. I am such a huge fan of the Dead Space franchise. I've played it a couple of times, and I like the fact that I'm going to be able to play some Dead Space in January, and if it doesn't get delayed, that is, and the Callisto Protocol a month before that. So I think it's going to be a good time for horror fans. Not that I'm a horror fan. That game is an exception. I normally don't play scary games.
Yeah, but Dead Space was like pretty. It still holds up today. I played that a couple of years ago. Yeah.
It does still hold up. It's amazing, man. It's really, really good. I actually don't think Dead Space 1 is very scary because there's very obvious sound cues, and then the enemies kind of just walk towards you slowly and stuff, and from far away. So I think it's a pretty good deal. Plus, reason I don't like most scary games is because in some of them you're not able to fight back, but in Dead Space you are. So, and I'm pretty sure they're going to take the same approach with the Callisto Protocol. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was watching the trailer, and apparently they've got melee in there. I don't know if you want to get too close to the things that he was fighting. Panda, Spider-Man Remastered PC port. Ouch! There's a lot of people out there eating crow, including Insomniac Games, who said it would never come to PC. Did anyone catch that quote floating around the internet?
Yeah, I think someone re-brought that back up just yesterday. Was it Zorka? Someone did it, and they screenshot it and showed that it was that Insomniac should have just been honest and told the gamers that these were coming to PC.
Do you think they knew? Do you think they knew?
Yeah,
Or
I don't think they knew at the
definitely
time.
knew.
Yeah.
I don't think
really?
they knew. That was a
Yeah, I
long
don't think
time
they
ago.
knew. Yeah, that was a long
Yeah.
time ago. I mean, you never say never in the in the Twitterverse because people will keep those receipts.
Oh yeah.
They knew when Miles Morales came out, not initially when the PS4, like the original came out. I think they definitely knew when Miles Morales came out that was the intention of where it was.
I
where
would have
it was
thought so
heading.
too.
When
Yeah.
when did Miles Morales come out?
2019?
Ooh.
Right?
Was it early 2020?
When
Early 2019. It was right
when
when
did
the PS5 came out, right?
when did the first PS5 game
I
go
thought
to
it was
PC?
2020. I thought it was 2020.
Oh,
but-
2020. Why am I saying 2019? 2020, sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. When did the first PS5 game go to PC?
Ooh. Last year.
Was it Godfall?
Nah, it was Horizon, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure. Godfall's third party. It was
I thought it was
Yeah, but that was a
Uncharted.
PS5 only title at the time.
No, no,
So.
it's definitely Horizon. Horizon was the first PC game that they ported. I almost 100% sure, but I'm live.
Oh, so yeah, they probably didn't know at that time. It seems like ever since they've gotten Jim Ryan in, they've changed course with a lot of things. If you know what I mean. So
They definitely didn't know when they put out that quote on Twitter that it's never coming. So I agree with you, Luca, there that they didn't know, and it's unfortunate that management has made that decision to change it and made them look a little bit silly.
Wouldn't you get ahead of it and just
I don't think it's
delete the tweet? Like if you're Insomniac, you're like, oh, remember in 2018 when we said that thing? Can someone find
no,
it?
because I don't think people really care. It's just something that we can talk
Keep your
about
receipts,
now.
guys. Come on.
But I don't think people really care about it, and I really don't think it's Insomniac cares what people think. At the end of the day, they've made two amazing games, which more people are going to get to enjoy now.
Hang on,
that's the way I see
hang on a
Hearing
minute.
other people that are losing their minds
Did
at
you-
the moment
did
over
you
the
say-
fact it's going to PC.
Did you say two amazing games? I thought they made one really amazing
One
game
DLC.
and a great DLC. How did you know I was going to say that, hey?
How did I know, mate?
No, they're both honestly top class open world superhero games, man. Spider-Man's great. And I kind of tend to get open world fatigued. But a game has to have a specific thing. I don't know what it is to hold me. Assassin's Creed Valhalla had it, and Spider-Man 2018 and Miles Morales definitely had it. I clocked Spider-Man fully.
3 million copies sold, risk it?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a game that
I mean,
reaches into
that's
the casuals, though, right? Because it's superheroes, it's Marvels, and people want to check it out. So that's a really good get for PlayStation.
Yeah, right when the Marvel movies were at their absolute peak as well.
And I think this is just positive, regardless of how you look at it. More people
agree.
getting access to playing this title, regardless of where
100%.
they choose to play it. It's more money that Sony's making as well. And I think it's really important that we stop gatekeeping where these games need to go, because if you create a narrative and that narrative is negative, and they're constantly creating the same narrative that exclusives are where it's at, and these games are only good if it's on PlayStation, and then they look stupid, and then they have to protect themselves, and they're the ones who are just being aggressive in that regard because they now have egg on their face because they stuck to their guns so much and held on to Spider-Man being the last title that wasn't going to PC. Why are you coveting it so much and not allowing other gamers to experience it? You tell us how good the game is, and we just choose not to buy the platform, but we should, the more people who can play this game, the better, and it's going to PC. So most Xbox gamers probably own a PC to some degree, and will get a chance to play it. And
Yeah,
that's more
definitely.
money in Sony's pocket. So just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you know what? And it's like
Well said, Panda.
they're so precious, you know. It's like, oh no, my PS5 exclusive, you know. Oh no, like honestly, just because you could only play it on PS5 at the time doesn't mean that, you know, when it's brought to another platform, it doesn't reduce its amazingness. Like it's almost like, oh, it's tainted now. And I think you're exactly right. You know, gatekeeping these games, it's wonderful stories. Like not everyone can afford to have multiple consoles. So I think, you know, the more people that can play, the better. You know, when everyone plays, everyone wins.
Yeah, look, absolutely. This gatekeeping bullshit that's been going on. They just use it for console wars. Look, everyone knows me pretty well out there in Twitter. I'll dip my foot in the console war space just for shits and giggles, but I don't believe half the shit I say.
How big is your toe? Are you like a full toe? Like your whole body's a toe? Or?
All right, yeah, I might slide into the console wars and bathe.
Oh, he's up to his neck in it. That's not kidding anyone.
But look, everyone knows that my favorite game of the last generation is 110% God of War. So look, I don't have anything. I do have something against PlayStation's business practices, but when it comes to their games, their exclusives are they're top notch. And I agree, guys. Like they should be going out there to PC, not just for gamers, but it's good for gamers, but it's good for the company, for the health of that company as well. To continue to make those fantastic exclusives. The more money they got, the more money they can put into games, the better games we get. You hope, if it works that way, if money makes a great game, which, well, past history has showed us it hasn't, but it helps, right? It's got to help. Right, let's move on to the next. Well, I'm kind of picking away at this topic a little bit. Street Fighter 6.
I wanted to say, Risket, that Palpatine actually said in the chat that he thinks God of War is being saved for the Keeleys. Do you think that Palpatine's right and they're going to show God of War at the Keeleys? Because PlayStation is going to be showing something there. Or do you think that it's going to skip the whole E3 period and have its own state of play later? I thought it was a really good point by Palpatine.
It is. If you guys have got a question in the chat, please just type question in the chat and it will highlight it to me. I'm juggling a few things in the background here, so I do miss some of the things that you say. I am always watching the chat, but if you hit question, it'll highlight it and it'll be in my peripheral, so I'll bring it to the forefront. Yeah, Pete, look, I think everyone knows up until now, I think everyone knew what I thought. But as I was saying on Bob's show the other day, I'm a little bit now someone told me who is in the know, who would know, that God of War is definitely coming this year. And up until this point, I think all the evidence points to God of War not coming this year. I think the Keeleys is probably not the place that PlayStation don't like to do other people's shows. PlayStation like to do their own thing, and they like to keep their own company. I mean, they pulled out at E3. I don't know if turning up to the Keeleys cost them money or the reason that they've done that. Why would you think they've done that, Red Dead Panda? Why do you think they keep very much to themselves when it comes to shows?
Well, honestly, I don't really know why they keep to themselves. I think it's a shit practice. I think gamers are after as much content as we can, and we want to know when things are potentially coming or on the horizon. And I mean, when they first announced the PS5 and they were like, there'll be more about this, and we've got all these shows that we're going to be doing when we pulled out of E3, and none of that happened. And so I think the idea behind that they could potentially show it at the Keeleys, I guess they don't know what Xbox is going to show at the Keeleys, so they might be holding things back purposely to see how things play out. And they probably kind of want to make it a big, massive event. So you're right, probably won't show at the Keeleys, but there might be something else that they bring there to kind of combat whatever Xbox is going to bring there as well, because they've got to keep themselves relevant, and part of that is keeping the gamers informed. Whether you're an Xbox gamer or a PlayStation gamer or a PC gamer, us hardcore watch all those shows to know what's coming, to also decide whether or not it's worth purchasing a different platform or anything like that, or to even have a look at games that are potentially coming to our platforms later on that there might be a timed exclusive or something along those lines. But really, I think it's a shit practice that they just don't go to those other events. They pulled out of E3. They could have done what Xbox did and did their own version of E3, because 30 minutes for a state of play, for where we're sitting at the moment, knowing that the second half of 2022 for PlayStation is going to be pretty quiet for the most part, around their big titles that they want to refer to. And even then, on the Xbox side, we don't know really what's coming, but Xbox has got like probably an hour and a half set aside to bring to talk about games and show us what's coming for into 2022 and moving into 2023 and maybe beyond. But 30 minutes, you needed something bigger for me. And I
Yeah.
think
I was disappointed with the 30 minutes as well.
I
Like,
was on
how
KY's show yesterday, and I think one of the things that they really could have done is promoted PlayStation Premium or PlayStation Deluxe more. Now, Stray coming out July 19th. They said it's going to go day and date into both deluxe and premium versions of PlayStation Plus, and I think it was it felt like an afterthought. Yes, it came up at the end that it was going to be, but if you remember Xbox E3 showing where every game was day one Game Pass on the screen for an extended period of time for game after game after game. Now they've just announced the merging of these PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now, and they really need to show people why it's a value proposition for them. And I think they could have done that with numerous games yesterday. I don't understand why they couldn't have done the same for Tunic, Rollerdrome. They're doing it for Stray, and then maybe picked another one, to promote it. Maybe something like Street Fighter 6. Yes, it's coming to Xbox as well, but what if it was going into PlayStation Plus day and date? That would have made a big difference. But yeah, I 100% agree. I don't think half an hour was long enough, although what they showed I did enjoy.
Yeah, it's traditionally half an hour though, guys. That's pretty standard fare for PlayStation, right? But you do make a good point, Pete. But I think that they would have brought, had they had more to put into their service, they probably would have brought it to the forefront. But I think that just having one game, you can't really do a big song and dance about one game going to your service day and date. Luca, I just wanted to ask you, going back, do you think that PlayStation's holding back on God of War State of Play and giving us a release date until after the Xbox showcase so they can hit back and have something for their fans to, console war about?
I think it's possible. Okay, so I think they're just going to save God of War for a State of Play in general. I don't think it'll show up on any of the Summer Games Fest or anything like that, because Summer Games Fest I think last year's was like really awful overall. So I don't think anything interesting is going to show up there, but I could be completely wrong. But even so, Sony's going to do a State of Play for God of War. It's very special. It's a special game, so they would want to make sure it's announced properly and has all the focus on it. So I don't think it's showing
God
up.
of War's coming this year, Luca?
They seem pretty confident about it, so
Yeah.
but I don't know, at this point when it comes to these games, I'm just expecting all of them to get delayed because I don't know, man. After the Starfield thing, I'm just like, all right, well, I don't have really my hopes up for anything at this point.
Yeah, right. Even if they write it in pen and it's not written in pencil, still gets delayed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I honestly, after saying that and then having to come back and delay it, I was like, dude, oh my God. No wonder he didn't say anything. He kept pretty quiet and still has kept pretty quiet. But there's no need to cancel your Game Pass, man. We got Sniper Elite 5. That thing costs like $84 on the PlayStation over here. Doom, do you think that we're going to be seeing God of War this year? And do you think that they're going to drop that State of Play after the showcase?
Yeah, I really do think it's a high possibility. And like Lucas said, God of War, it's very special. It's very special and precious to Sony. So, and yeah, I think people are very excited. And I think to do it justice, it really does need its own showcase. I don't know when that will be, but yeah, I think that it would be a very, very missed opportunity if they didn't release it this year. potentially for probably the holiday Christmas period. I think it will be released.
Yeah, that's the word on the street. The guy who was telling me that he's pretty sure it's coming this year, I think was alluding to around about a November kind of time. But yeah, just all the evidence just really points to it not coming this year, with Corey coming out saying we haven't got it in the show. There's the absolute quietness other than that about the game. Yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't know. But we'll move on to the next topic, unless, Pete, you want to add something?
No, I think, I'm not sure who said it. I think Hargeet said it on KY's show yesterday, that would you prefer that the God of War developers took time out to make a showing for E3, or would you rather them just knuckle down, do what they need to do, and get the game out by this year? And I thought that was quite telling, and something that I didn't really think of. So I would obviously prefer them to knuckle down and get the game out at the end of the year. I think PlayStation need to fight back. I think the narrative has been quite negative for them this year. I don't think this showcase did enough to show why you need to get a PS5. They're trying after the Starfield delay. You can see them trying to, put a bit of pressure on Microsoft. Straight after that, they announced the new subscription service, which is why I think it's another missed opportunity what they did yesterday. I hope God of War comes out this year. God of War's a great game. I think PlayStation fans are craving for something to play, craving for some good news. And I think Doomy could be right. I think they could be holding it back because we all know Xbox are going to bring the heat in the showcase. I think it's going to be one of Xbox's best shows ever. And by holding something back like God of War, they can sort of change the narrative, change the focus, and give their players something to look forward to.
Yeah, well, even like now that you mentioned the showcase, even though we have had E3 cancelled, there's a hell of a lot coming this month to show us what's good. But I also agree with you, Ashen. Traditionally, the Summer Games Fest hasn't really been it for me. The Future Game Show, again, also it's usually double A's and traditionally hasn't been great for me. The PC Gaming Show, something that I don't normally get into because I don't have a PC. And the Guerrilla Collective is a lot of little indie games from memory. So, yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that PlayStation is competing with is the Xbox Bethesda showcase. Speaking,
but the Keeleys,
it's a
the
good
Game Awards,
warm up. It's a good warm up.
Yeah, the Keeleys and the Game Awards have definitely elevated themselves quite substantially, especially over the last couple of years. With
yeah, but that's
Xbox
later in the
now
year, right? That's
yeah, I understand, but I think that Jeff has actually gotten a lot more contacts. They've realised that his shows are quite successful and a good place to show things off, and so I'm thinking that might translate over to Summer Game Fest this year. I'm not sure, but it definitely could be the case, and something to consider.
Yeah, well, pretty close to the announcement of that showcase. Everyone was giving their 2 cents, and we did as well, on what we thought was coming to that showcase. But we're getting a little bit closer. There hasn't been any rumors or leaks. It's been watertight, man, which is very rare. And I know, Pete, that you are happy about this because you want a surprise. And we're talking to Miles, and Miles also thought it was happy. He just wants to be surprised. But me personally, I would like a leak, man. I'd like to see what's coming.
Risket doesn't like surprises.
I don't like surprises. I want to know.
Can we just talk about for a second how good Chun-Li looks in Street Fighter? Please,
Chun-Li, wow.
Please crush me.
She is hot. I know, I'll get in between those sides any day.
All right. All right. All the kids watching are like, Dad, what's getting crushed in thighs mean?
Brandon, please agree with me here.
Look, I wanted to ask before we get onto these thigh comments. She does look amazing, but it's a bit weird.
No, but I remember playing Street Fighter when I was little, and obviously I wasn't thinking about Chun-Li's thighs, but it made me really think about how far we've come. the evolution of Chun-Li has been absolutely phenomenal, and the
Yeah, she was
technology.
a tiny Chinese girl, wasn't she? She was really thin.
Now she's a
Now-
beefcake.
Yeah.
Now she's on that Kardashian workout.
Just think of like GoldenEye, like in the movie GoldenEye, where she's like crushing James Bond with her thighs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Right, chat. Seriously,
Senora,
fly crushing, yes or no? Yes or no?
Senora, or I forget her name is in GoldenEye. Yeah, she's awesome. Great actress. She plays in Marvel Universe,
No,
X-Men.
Yeah, X-Men. Yeah, she's Phoenix.
All right,
Yes,
moving
yes,
back to the
yeah.
games. Moving back to the games, people. Ashton, I wanted to ask you before we got onto Chun-Li's thighs. What do you think's coming for this showcase?
We're staying on Chun-Li's sides for the rest of this show. Sorry, mate.
What do you think we're going to get? We're going to get or see at the Xbox showcase? Is there anything that they might shadow drop that they've got in the works that people don't see coming?
Well, I mean, I doubt this is gonna happen, but I would like to see something for Wolfenstein 3. You know, I'm a fan of that franchise.
That is good.
So, yeah. Other than that, I feel like, I mean, we're probably gonna see stuff for Starfield and Redfall, and then of course we're probably gonna see something for Avowed. I'm not 100% about anything else. Go ahead.
Do you think that'll be their focus, though? Do you think Starfield will be what they focus on, considering that the community was like pissed? You can't even say disappointed. Like the general feeling was pissed offness. Do you think they'll focus heavily on Starfield?
I don't know, because there is a chance that maybe it won't show up at this showcase. Maybe because when they did their statement, Bethesda, that is, they said it's coming soon, but that soon can be like a month from now or like a few weeks from now. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I guess we'll see. Man. I feel like if we don't see it, that's a good little indication on how far behind they are, seemingly. So
Yeah, well, yeah, agreed. Absolutely. If we don't see it, you're going to start to worry, yeah, about the front end of next year, and know it's going to be the back end of the front end. What? Doom Cutie, what do you think? What do you hope?
She said she'd be right back, bro.
Oh, my bad. I'm not reading that. I'm juggling everything else.
Mhm.
Pete, what do you
Still
think?
thinking about those thighs. Let's be honest.
Disappears to the bathroom. Anyway, Pete, what do you?
Oh, God.
What do you?
You always have to take it too far, don't you?
I
mate?
know, right?
Always.
I know. It's worse in parties, chat. If you hear it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's out of
Don't even
control.
join us in a party chat. No.
What do you think we'll see, mate? What do you think? Do you think we'll see Starfield as the main event? I mean, it kind of has to be, right?
Starfield will 100% be the main event. It's still the basis of the poster with all the stars in the background. It will be either the opening or the closing of the show. They have to give a reason after the disappointment of the delay to be excited for this game. Yes, it's disappointing that the game got delayed. I agree with that. I mean, we all want to play this game. We want to play Bethesda's first new IP in 25 years. But a bad game will always remain a bad game. And a delayed game has the potential to be great. You know, give the developers of Bethesda the time they need to perfect the game, to get it out complete without crunch. And to make it as great as they possibly can. And I think we'll see an extended gameplay of Starfield, and I can't wait for it. I really can't. I'm so looking forward to this game. Space, sci-fi. I love that stuff. I can't decide between fantasy or space. If I'm playing a space game, I prefer that. If I'm playing a fantasy game, I prefer that. But then I've got Avowed to look forward to. And so we pretty much are guaranteed of getting some gameplay of Avowed as well. Obsidian's baby, the game they've wanted to make for 10 years, but just haven't had the money to do so. Then Microsoft's come in, they've bankrolled them, they've given them what they've needed. And, I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. Those two games are my standouts. I want to see the power of the Xbox, and although I'm not typically a big racing fan, I think the best way to showcase that power is to show Forza Motorsport. So incredibly excited to see what Series X can do with Motorsport.
I'm
And
so
I know,
psyched.
yeah, me too. And I know that everyone says we're not going to see it, but I'd still love to see Perfect Dark, Fable. Yeah, I mean, so much to look forward to. Getting back to what Ash and Lucas said, I'd love to see Wolfenstein 3. It's been 4 years. It's definitely been long enough. I think Machine Games have had more than enough time to, bring something to the showcase. Although I love Wolfenstein, I'd actually prefer to see Indiana Jones, but either one of those two I'd be, delighted with. And I want to be surprised. I want to see something that I don't know about, that I haven't heard about. I want that big surprise hit, a game that I didn't know about beforehand, and just, sets the internet on fire.
Indiana Jones is a good point. I'll jump to you, Cutie, in a minute, and Panda about what you guys think of the showcase. But look, do we think that Indiana Jones is going to be exclusive? It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't. I don't think it matters at all, right?
Game Pass.
Doom.
So, you're talking to me. What was the question?
Indiana Jones. Do you?
Obviously,
yes,
Indiana
yeah.
Jones. It doesn't matter if it's exclusive.
No, I don't think it does. Because I mean, you could play Indiana Jones on the Wii. I'm pretty sure back in the day. So yeah, I don't think it matters if it's exclusive, and I think it'll be a benefit to the gaming community, regardless of whether it comes out on Nintendo DS or Xbox. You know what I mean? Everyone loves Indiana Jones anyway, so I think it'll be good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, the exclusive. We just talked about this with Spider-Man. The exclusive monicum has always been used in console wars, but it does have another purpose. It is to sell consoles. If you can't get it on the other console, you will often go and buy the console that has the games that you want, right? So if Xbox has the Indiana Jones as exclusive, then that's probably going to be a big console seller for them. Panda, do you think that they have the exclusive license, or do you think it's something that they took on before they bought Bethesda, and so we'll be seeing it on the PlayStation 5?
In my opinion, because it's still we don't know obviously what happened with the contracts around it. When
we have gaming royalty here. Dealers in the chat.
Holy! G'day, dealer.
Hi, dealer.
Dealer, darling.
Oh, he's up. Jesus.
I think for this game, I just reckon it doesn't matter where it goes to. It's going to go on Game Pass, and I think that's what's going to be the point, is just pushing people to Game Pass so that they can play it on the platform that they have, whether that is the PC, whether that is the console, whether that is cloud gaming. Through your mobile, as long as you've got that. So I really don't care if it's exclusively not on PlayStation side or not. They're the only ones who seem to care if games are exclusive or not, really, because they cry about it enough.
But it does push consoles, right? So
it does push consoles. It's going to push the Game Pass subscription itself forward. I vaguely played the original one, or I think it was was it on Game Pass or was it on Gold or something? It came to Xbox, and I played a little bit of it, but I'm like, I just want to see what they do there instead, because I'm busy playing through Lego Indiana Jones 2 at the moment because I just love the Lego titles. So I would like a meaty meaty Indiana Jones game that just reminds me a bit of like Tomb Raider and Uncharted and but that next level because I love the movies and I just love the franchise.
Well, that's
And
where Tomb Raider and Uncharted were basically
come
based on.
from.
They were ripped
Yeah,
straight from
basically.
Indiana Jones, right? I mean, look at Uncharted's got a whip, dude. I mean, you can't get more Indiana Jones than that, right?
Yeah, but I think I'm more excited for what Compulsion is doing. We haven't heard anything about them. Like the last thing that they did was We Happy Few, and they changed the scope on that game so much based on feedback from the community. And I mean, Contrast is on Game Pass as well at the moment, and I think they're with the support that they've got behind them with Xbox. I think. And they're quite a quirky studio in the stuff that they do. I really want to see what they're doing. I loved We Happy Few, so yeah, I'm excited. For
Yeah,
them.
and they've moved into a new studio, haven't they, Panda? And they've definitely built up that team into something a lot bigger and better. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm really excited to see what they can produce, and what they produced in We Happy Few was very different.
Yes.
Something we really haven't seen before, which is rare in this day and age in gaming.
It is
I
pretty
just
rare.
loved the concept.
Yeah.
It was sadistic, and the guys with the masks. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it's very niche, but didn't they get a massive cash injection at the towards the end of their development as well? So they kind of raced to polish, right, at the end there.
Yeah, I think so. But they had to change scope on it partway through development because when people got in and played like the demo or the preview for it, it had a heavy survival mechanics to it, and people weren't expecting that. And so they added a lot more story into it and kind of just built it out. And the game that you play now is very different to the game that they had initially envisioned. And part of that was working with the community. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah,
Had a lot of trouble getting that game into Australia, and I know that it was initially banned in Australia because of the drug use, and then the people from Compulsion Games actually had to come down here in person, go through the game with the ratings board and explain to them why it wasn't showing drugs in a good light.
Yeah.
But it was very, very, very close to not being allowed to be played in Australia.
It's pretty obvious how it's not showing drugs in a good light, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
but the gaming board don't take that much notice, to be honest. And, you know, it's ridiculous that the gaming company had to come down here and actually, you know, hold them hand in hand and walk them through it just so that, you know, their game was allowed to be rated in Australia. And it's something that I think needs to be worked on in Australia. I think it's,
Well,
you know,
considering
they've got
that
these
you-
blanket rules that there's no room for, you know, any movement
breathing
in
room?
those rules. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
just
well-
imagining a whole bunch of guys or girls, like gaming developers in the room with like, you know, the ratings board, and they're like, so this is the part here where, and they've got the needles. You see that? Yep. So it's totally normal. It's called heroin. Like, I just like what kind of meat? I just don't understand.
Yeah, but if
I
you
just
played the game, like the premise of the game is that basically the entirety of society is on a happy pill, right? Is on drugs, so they just kind of haze their way through life. And then I think the main character, I didn't play the entirety of it, but I think the main character then like somehow comes off that happy pill and starts to really see things for what they are, and it's a real dystopian type game. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of reminded me of 1984, right? Soylent Green type stuff. People,
yeah.
it was very
Well, I think
similar to that.
The important thing
Welcome
around
back,
that is
Luca.
I'm glad they
You've been,
fixed that for
having
Australia.
some internet issues, but welcome back, mate. Everyone, Ashton's back, so you guys can chill.
What's up? No, it's not the internet, dude. Just I don't know what it is about Discord and my connection, but it never sometimes doesn't work. So but thanks for having me back. I'm back. My bad.
No, you're all
No,
good. All
you're
the
all good,
guys,
mate.
all the guys. You did say at the start of the show that it might happen, but all the guys in the chat missed you.
Appreciate y'all.
Oh, look, we'll move on to who hasn't Pete. We'll move on to you, Pete. What do you say? No, have we done me? Have we done me? We've done you.
I've gone, mate.
Yeah, we've
Yep.
done you.
Go for it,
Yeah.
mate. Move on, brother.
Wow. Well, maybe you need to get up a little bit earlier, right? Red Dead Panda, we haven't done you though. What do you think we're going to see at this showcase? Like, it's like, what do you want? What's going to shadow drop? Go.
I was talking about Compulsion Games for a reason.
Oh yeah, but you moved off my last thing, which was Indiana Jones. I suppose you kind of slipped into yourself.
I
like that.
segued
Organic.
because I didn't have much to add to Indiana Jones, to be honest.
Fine then, you've already gone. Nah, that's it. You said you go.
I would like to see Avowed, something from Avowed. I really would. I don't think we're going to see
we're
anything from
definitely
Outer
seeing
World,
that.
but I want to see what In Exile's doing because they've got an unnamed project that they're working on, and maybe we might see what the Coalition is actually working on because they're not working on Gear 6, they're working on something else.
Yes, I'm glad that you mentioned that. I've been waiting for someone to mention it so I can have my turn. I think this is my prediction. I'm going to lay it down. I think we're going to see Coalition drop the Gears collection. I think it'll be 1, 2, and 3, hopefully Judgment as well. But I think that that's what they've been working on because if you notice the language around their announcement that they're working on a small project, they didn't say game. And so
I think that would have been handed to an outside studio, Riskin. I don't think the Coalition, being as talented as they are, would work on a remake or a remaster. I think that would have been handed over to a third-party studio, typically just like Sony does when they hand over their remakes to third-party studios.
Who would you trust to remake Gears in UE5? There's no studio on the planet that uses the Unreal Engine like Coalition. They are the best at it.
Yes, but they can also get, they can go back and forth with the Coalition to make sure they get everything right. But I just think they're too much of a talented studio to be working on a remake, and I think it's a waste of their resources and their time. And everybody's been crying out for the Coalition to, be able to be free enough to make a new IP. So, although I absolutely love Gears and I'd love to see the Marcus Phoenix collection redone and reimagined in Unreal Engine 5, I would love them to be working on something.
Yeah, right.
new.
But if you remember, they were talking about they're going to take some time after Gears 5 just to get their head around Unreal Engine 5 and basically play with it. Right. So we know in the background they've done the Matrix Awakens demo. We know in the back, I don't know who's banging out there in my house. I'll go wrap a towel around their head and choke them out. We know the goddamn podcasting. You can't be hammering things. We know that they're working on they worked on those few small projects. We know they did some tech demos just to see how they could work with ambient occlusion and all that sort of stuff. And Grey Monad in the chat, you're absolutely right. It would only take a small team of the Coalition to fiddle around with UE5 and port those games over to UE5 and give us, a little bit of a remaster. I mean, in that light, Pete, I don't know. It just seems like to me, especially with the language, they said a small project, man. They didn't say a game. If I had multiple games, I was rejudging. I would
just be honest. The only thing you want to see from the Marcus Phoenix collection is his thighs crushing something, right?
Did you say Marcus Phoenix? Did you just call him Marcus Phoenix? You said Phoenix.
I used an F word. Like it started with the F. I just didn't pronounce it properly. Okay. I was eating my food and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna jump in and mention his thighs.
Wait, hold on, you guys. Chun-Li, Marcus Phoenix.
Oh.
Thigh crush battle to the death.
Oh no, poor Anya.
DLC.
Anya. I love Anya.
Oh, we're always coming back to the thighs.
They always do, darling.
Yeah.
Look, what do you reckon, Asher? Do you think that it's likely that Coalition might be working on that Gears collection, or do you think they'll have someone small working on it as a third-party studio?
Yeah. Aren't they doing their own thing right now? Aren't they making a different game currently?
Yeah, well, that's what they said. They said
Yeah.
they're making a small project. They didn't say game though, right? So if you're remastering multiple games and you said we're working on a small game, I don't know. It was very vague, their wording, so obviously leaves it open to speculation.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they might have a different team on it if that's what they're doing.
If that's what they're doing.
See, Steph said, what if Ubisoft announces the next Assassin's Creed game since it's basically about that time again?
Didn't they say they were taking a break from Assassin's Creed for an extra year?
I don't know.
Or am I throwing back to when they did Odyssey? I think I might be throwing back. Yeah, man, it's
Well,
possible.
They did that for
break
Odyssey.
from releasing a title, but I think they were still releasing DLC. So I think maybe we'll hear about the
Yeah,
new
maybe
Assassins
DLC. Yeah.
next. Yeah, who knows? We'll probably hear about Ubisoft next year. Actually, fingers crossed. They need a break.
Or will
We
they
need
bring Ubisoft Plus to the showcase? I think that's definitely happening.
I thought so too, Risket. I thought that they were taking a year off. I'm not sure where I heard that, but I can't remember who was on the show at GameSet Live yesterday. Mentioned that there is an Assassin's Creed being released this year. So, look, I'm not sure what the case is, but that would be great. I'd love to see another Assassin's Creed game, and we do know that Xbox do hold the marketing rights to Assassin's Creed game, and they have for a while. Origin's coming into Game Pass this month. I was talking to Dealer in the chat. I haven't played it. It's 60 FPS, but he thinks it's well worth its second playthrough just because it has been elevated into that 60 FPS mode.
Yeah, look, I did see him. He had it playing on his video that he released yesterday, and yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good, but I don't know. I've kind of been there, done that, right? So, and it wasn't. I didn't really. I nearly completed Odyssey, but I just slipped off it, man. So many times with open world games, I get fatigued, slip off it, say I'm coming back, and never do. But I mean, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that was one that I completed. So I don't know what it is, the secret sauce that needs to be in these open world games to keep me there, but it is something. I don't know what it is. We'll move on to the next topic. Jedi Fallen Order is going to be next gen only. I think that this is the way that developers are going to. I think we've got enough next gen, current gen consoles out in the wild for most of the third parties that are coming, if they haven't already been in development, maybe for say 2 years, to start basically working just on their current gen and leaving that cross gen bullshit behind. Because I'm sick of cross gen. I want to see, like you said, Pete, what these consoles can do. And some third party developers can really push these consoles to their limits. Pete, do you think we're going to be seeing just basically current gen games coming out from now on in? Do you think this is like
that was the plan? That was the plan, wasn't it? And Phil Spencer did say at the start of the generation that they would be doing cross-gen for 1 to 2 years, and we're also, we're reaching that turning point now. Unlike Jim Ryan, who said we believe in generations, Phil Spencer was actually quite open and upfront, and copped a lot of flack for it when he did make that comment. So. Yeah, look, I do believe that we will see the end of the cross-generation period. I think it's a good thing for gaming. I think that xCloud helps that along because you can still turn on your old Xbox One and cloud play a lot of these games now. So although you won't be able to play them natively, you'll still be able to play them. So yeah, look, it looks like Xbox and Phil has got all their ducks in a row to transition to strictly into next gen gaming, which I think is a great thing because we've got these beautiful, capable machines, and we haven't seen what they're capable of. I think the best example that we've seen so far, I would say, would be Doom Eternal. So yeah, look, I would love it. I would absolutely love it if we go next gen only. But what do you think, Luca? Do you think that Xbox is ready to go next gen only? And do you think Jedi Survivor is the new wave of games that will be next gen only?
God, I hope so. Like, I'm tired of this last gen thing, man. Like, I understand. Listen, I get it with everything that happened with the vid, and then the chip shortage, not wanting to leave any of those consoles behind. I get it, man, but like I'm ready. I've been past ready. I want to see more of what these consoles can do. I want to see more of their power. I love my Series X, man, and I'm more than ready for it. So hopefully we start to get a fresh new wave of PS5, Xbox Series X, and S, and PC only going forward. I mean, of course, we're going to have the occasional game here and there that's still going to be on the last gens, but I'm hoping they are pushing forward so I can finally be free of those old boxes. You feel me?
I do, and I 100% agree. So, have you seen the Jedi Survivor trailer that just dropped? Was that enough to excite you? Are you a Jedi Fallen Order fan? Are you looking forward to the next entry?
Oh man, I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this. I am not really a Star Wars fan, so I didn't play.
Get out.
I
man.
know, I
Haven't played it either, so you know.
Kidding.
So yeah, I mean, like I haven't played it, but I heard it's really, really good. So it's definitely on my list. It's downloaded on my Xbox. I will get to it eventually, especially because it's so dry right now. You know what I mean? So that's probably gonna be next on the docket.
I highly recommend it, Luca. It's an absolutely fantastic game. For the story alone, I think the combat is amazing. I think Respawn finally got lightsaber combat down pat. I mean, it's honestly perfect in my eyes. I really can't see any negatives when it comes to that game. But what do you think about Jedi Survivor Cutie? I know that you were really wanting to speak about it last week and never got a chance to, so the floor's yours, mate. Go for it.
I know. So last week, I guess because we always our topics, you know, we set them during the week, and yeah, it just got. I think the trailer released like in the morning of the podcast, so it didn't get.
It was like
Yeah.
1 hour before we went live.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I shared it on Twitter, and I was so excited. Cal is a beautiful Jedi, and I really, no, I really love the gameplay. I really do, and I think Pete and I were talking before the podcast started today, and yeah, just the lightsaber gameplay is just so lovely, and I just can't wait to see where this next game takes Cal. Although I'm not a fan of the name. I mean, I assume that the story that comes along with the next game will explain that. But I don't know. I don't like the
Just ask
Survivor
Pete's
name.
dog why it's called Jedi Survivor after him playing Elden Ring.
I saw that. I
Yeah.
just let that one slide. Yes, he does tend to run away when I'm playing Elden Ring. Not sure why. Some people say that I have a bit of a yelling problem, but I don't know what they're talking about.
Oh, poor Jedi. If you want to see what Jedi looks like, check out our Instagram because I posted up all of our pets on Instagram. So you'll see so Pete has Jedi and Risket has Chewie and I have a goldfish named Wanda. So
Fish called Wanda. It's so cool.
yeah, she's. You know what? So, okay, this has gone on a tangent here, but this is what happens when Risket takes a break. So my fish tank had a lot of other goldfish in it, and Wanda is the last one. So I guess you could call this Wanda the survivor. Pun. And her tail it got eaten by the other goldfish because they were aggressive to her. So I got rid of all of them, and I just have her now.
Oh.
Did
you get lonely, mate?
Nah, she's an independent woman.
And then our
Of
cat
course.
ate them.
But yes, I'm very excited for this new game, and I'll be playing it day one.
So, Panda, I saw you write in the chat that you haven't played Fallen Order. Is that right?
Okay, I turned it on, and then someone else was like, "Hey, do you want to play this game?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I've never gone back to it.
Wow.
Massive Star Wars fan, so I am a fraud at this point for not playing it. I love Star Wars, like absolutely.
Not a real gamer.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I can't
It's
recommend it
installed,
enough.
and it's there to play. But yeah, I just haven't got around to it. I guess at the moment I'm going through a sort of more of a multiplayer, like playing with my friends type thing, and I haven't really been playing the single player games because like then I like to play them like in silence and actually absorb everything, completely. And I'm just with COVID, with what happened with the pandemic and such, I'm going out of my way to play games where I can be in a party with people and interact with people. So that's another reason why I haven't really kind of sat down and really jumped into that game.
Yeah. Look, I understand. It is difficult to play single-player games in a party. I was playing Trek to Yomi the other day, and I felt that there was, I was playing with the guys like I generally do, and I felt that I lost a lot of the impact that story had, just because it's
Yeah.
very difficult, to play a story-driven, narrative-driven game while in a party, especially one that wasn't in English. Very hard to follow along, and so I think I'll go back and play it because it's another game that was on Game Pass that I highly recommend. I think the way they've done the visuals of that game, looking like those old 70s samurai games, was just absolutely, on point.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So Pete's
Um,
basically saying he's not a real gamer.
As
'cause-
well.
Yeah. That's
And,
all I'm
um,
hearing.
Well, he
You
hasn't
know-
played Gears, so he just says he has, and he had someone else play it for him.
I'm excited for Jedi Survivor. Mate, I love the Force Unleashed games. Those
Yes.
are
Then
so
you'll
good,
love,
and I
then
always
you'll love
wanted to.
this.
Yes.
You'll love it.
And
I wanted a third
yeah.
one, and it just hasn't happened. So yeah, I will eventually play.
lightsaber combat and the force wielding powers are very similar to the Force Unleashed. I think they're just much better done in, well,
More
not much
refined?
better done, but yeah, more refined in Fallen Order. And so if you like those games, you'll love Fallen Order. Yeah, I can't recommend it highly enough. And to your point, Doomy, I get that you don't like the name, but I 100% think that it does have something to do with the narrative.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
in
if you look at the
trailer,
if you look at that trailer, like I think you were about to say this, Pete. If you look at the trailer, there's none of his crew that he had around him by the end of the last game. So it looks like those guys have either been captured, killed, the
Bruh.
ship's smashed up. So, hey, Umbra!
So exciting.
Welcome to the show, Umbra.
Hey,
He's
guys.
alive. He's a survivor.
I've been here all along. Oops.
welcome, mate. Welcome. Yeah, you're right, bro. You're right,
Hey.
mate.
All good. It's been a rough week, man. We're just talking Jedi Fallen Order, Survivor.
Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, Jedi. Is it Jedi Fallen Order Survivor or is it Jedi Survivor?
No,
Whatever,
it's just
Jedi
Jedi
Survivor.
Survivor. Yeah,
whatever the hell
yeah.
it is. But that game was really well done. Not just in its mechanics for combat and its story, but the way that you get your powers, because you start as I don't want to ruin it for you guys because I know that Red Dead Panda is not a real gamer and she hasn't played it.
Sorry, what was that? What was that, Buffalo?
Xbox Cowboy, don't believe a word Riskett says, mate. Of course I've played Gears.
Never played it.
He's just, he's
Never
a
played it.
moron, and you can't take anything he says seriously, mate.
Never played it.
Welcome
Honestly,
to the show.
He's playing day one. The new My Little Pony game. You can't believe him at all.
Yeah, look, not just the mechanics, the way they kind of move the story with the mechanics. So you start as an apprentice who hasn't used your powers. Obviously, Order 66 has been implemented, and the Jedi are being hunted. And so he hasn't used his powers in quite a long time. So as you start to, restart to use your powers and grow your strength, the mechanics grow. So the game actually broadens out in that way. And because it's a semi-roguelike like level design, as your powers grow, you're able to access more areas. So you get to go back. It's really, 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 really well done. It is the best Star Wars game made for 110%. I mean, you look at how many copies got sold on its launch. And then it was greenlit for a sequel almost, I think it was like 2 weeks later. So that's craziness. And that's especially coming off the back of EA saying that single player games were dead, right? So then they greenlit that because of the backlash. And it's probably one of their best comments or best faux pas they've ever had, because it gave us Jedi Fallen Order. Umbra, are you excited for Survivor?
Extremely excited. The first one I thought should have been nominated for like a game of the year. Like it should have been one of the nominees, but unfortunately it missed that cutoff date. But absolutely, I think it's going to be spectacular. It's also going to be an Unreal Engine 5, I believe, right? Isn't that what they're saying?
Yeah, it is. It is built in Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited. I was wondering if they would do something like try to bring in what's the guy named Starkiller or something like that. But then I realized he's not part of the canon anymore, so I don't think they can do that. But you saw that guy that they saw in the tube, whatever, in the trailer. I was wondering who that might be, and it seems like it's him almost, but I'm not sure. But no, I'm actually very excited for that.
I think that's the Grand Inquisitor you're talking about, right? which
I'm not sure.
which is
The
probably
person in the back tank. I know who you're talking about, Umbra.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I don't know if they can bring him in. I don't think. Yeah, I think that was taken out of canon. But I am interested to see who that is as well.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, but I think it'll be dope though. And it comes out like what is it? January of next year?
Yep.
Yeah. Quick, yeah.
Next year is going to be crazy, just to say, but I'm actually very excited for it. Absolutely.
Yeah. What do we got? We got Dead Space. We got Survivor.
We got Resident Evil 4 remake.
We got RE4. We got well, apparently we got Starfield. We got Redfall.
Right. Redfall. Right.
There's so much coming, man. This year is just a horrific drought, right? It's been pretty bad. It's been very bad. I mean, even on the PlayStation side, you know, they've only had those two games. It's been very, very quiet. I can't wait to see Xbox start putting out or delivering on their promise, which was a game a quarter, right? Was what Phil said. Old Philbo.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you're in the chat, Phil, deliver.
It's literally his dream. Like, I can just imagine if Phil was ever in the chat and he responded to Risket, he would die. Like, he would actually explode with happiness.
We got to get Phil in then. I'd want to see Risket die. Sorry.
She's never seen it in Halo. I basically go like 100.
What was that, Assist Queen?
Assist Queen. That's because you follow me around, stealing my kills.
And the
all day.
Assist Princess is here as well, but you know.
I'm going to make you a shirt, Risket. I've got a cricket and it's going to say Assist Queen.
Yeah.
I'll wear
Hashtag not a real gamer.
it.
Love
I'll wear it.
Panda.
Has anyone seen my gamer score compared to their gamer score? I don't know. It's large. I don't know.
Because I played
Huge.
legit games to get my gamer score up.
I love those puzzle games, man. They make my brain think and stuff. Sorry, Umbra,
He's a simple-minded man.
Umbra, you were about to say something, or was it Pete?
Yeah, I was
just
going to
saying,
say, going back
other ones we
to
get too, but go ahead though, Pete.
going back to Jedi Survivor, I understand what you were talking about. I think her name's Sir Junga, and his whole crew, basically, you can see from the trailer that he lands on a planet. I think that planet is Jeddah. It's a sandy planet, but it doesn't look like Tatooine. I think it's Jeddah, and you can only see one set of footsteps walking off into the distance. So it's maybe speculating that he's maybe the sole survivor, or maybe he's landed there to rescue the rest of his crew. Jeddah is also a place that's very important to the Jedi. It's where they mine kyber crystals, and the Empire has since taken it over to harvest their own kyber crystals to use to power up the Death Star, but very important in Jedi lore. But it's also the planet, you know, where Rogue One is set, where Saw Gerrera has gone, and Saw was in Jedi Fallen Order. And so if they want to continue on, you know, he could have gone to Saw for help, like, you know, they helped each other in the first one. So I think Jeddah fits quite nicely. But I was wondering the same thing. Umbra, who is in that backer tank?
I'm wondering.
Really interesting.
I know, like, for instance, like, it's going to take 5 years. It's going to be like 5 years into the future. So we know that much.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that we'll probably have like bigger powers and stuff like that too. That the Cal Kestis.
Well, it looks like he loses his lightsaber as well. I think he's having a fight with. I think it's the Grand Inquisitor. I know that the Grand Inquisitor has been drawn differently in the numerous iterations, but I can't see it being anybody else. And I mean, it goes on from, you know, the first game, Fallen Order, where, you know, you're fighting the second sister and stuff. So I do think it's the Grand Inquisitor. I think he gets his lightsaber taken away from him, which is another reason why he could go to Jeddah as well, to get a new kyber crystal, and maybe become a master in this one, seeing it is 5 years later.
It's possible. And then also we have the case where, you know, this is in a timeline of Obi-Wan Kenobi, so he could appear too. So that's what I'm hyped about. So maybe
I doubt it. I doubt Respawn would have. I think they would have wanted to write their own story, and knowing that Disney Star Wars had an Obi-Wan show in the making, I think they would have steered clear of it. because I don't think they would have knuckled down the story for Obi-Wan yet. And look, I like that Respawn will do their own thing. I hope they do stay far away from the Obi-Wan show, because it's just
I don't know. I say it like this. I say this because the show is limited series. It's like 6 episodes, right? So it's not like it's going to be continuing for like too long. So it's not like they don't have the time to properly fit that in some way. And people thought that for the first game,
any cameo would be incredible. So
like with the first game, when I don't want to give anything away for those who haven't played it.
Obi-Wan Kenobi's thighs.
Oh, no more thighs. No more thighs. Sorry, Umbra.
Hashtag thighs.
You guys are looking at Obi-Wan Kenobi's thighs.
You weren't here. We were talking about Chun-Li's thighs, bro.
What the hell happened?
No, we were talking about how good Chun-Li looks, and then someone
Chun-Li is looking thick.
Yeah. So, and I don't know who mentioned thighs. It might have been me. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was you.
Totally was you.
Oh no, I said she could crush me with her thighs, and I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
But Umbra, you were talking about Jedi Survivor. No more thighs. Going back.
Sorry.
That's my fault. Sorry, guys.
It is.
Well, I want to say first off, like, sorry to everybody, because I was dead, like asleep. I've been really exhausted. But Luca, I want to say hello and welcome, because I didn't properly greet you.
What's goody, my boy? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, as to be expected, but just happy to have you here. I thought we had somebody else coming too. Risk, what happened with that?
No. We just Lucas is big enough for this show, which she takes up all the space, right?
It's true. I see Panda here too. Is that the case?
Yeah. Panda's our filling Umbra, but she just doesn't.
Name.
She doesn't have the
gaming to Psy Infinite podcast.
Risk is trying to kick me out now.
See.
Yeah.
Look, going back to Jedi Survivor. You were talking about Umbra.
Oh no! Like, basically, to wrap it up, I mean, like I said, I think Kenobi could appear, because I mean, if you look at the first game, we had that surprise too with Darth Vader appearing, and people didn't think that was going to happen. So I wouldn't write it off. I think it's possible that he might appear. I think it makes
so when in the timeline, I think it's before.
It's before
Kenobi
New Hope
series,
obviously, but. Well,
it's well before A New Hope, I would have thought. But I actually think that it's before the Kenobi series as well, or just slightly. Well,
I think it might be along the same time.
But the second sister's
well, it has to be now.
The second sister's not in
the series.
The second sister's not in Obi-Wan Kenobi, so she must already be gone, right? Otherwise, she'd be rolling with the Inquisitors. And so,
well, not necessarily, because he doesn't always roll with the same crew, depending on wherever he is and what part of the world he is.
Wherever she is.
They're quite spread apart. They're Jedi hunters, so they go where they need to go. So that doesn't necessarily mean that she's not there. But going on I don't want to give away spoilers for the Kenobi show, but going on the Grand Inquisitor being the main antagonist to this show, it is doubtful that there'll be a crossover. I'll just put it that way.
No, I think we'll see a crossover, man. I think it's absolutely plumb ripe. Dead smackers on the timeline for them to cross over.
So
I'm not saying
Steph just said that it is 5 years before the Kenobi show. Okay, thanks, Steph. I appreciate you, mate. Yeah, and that actually makes a lot of sense.
I'm not saying it's going to be Obi that it crosses over with, but I think we're going to see crossover of the Grand Inquisitor through the timeline. Maybe some of the places that Obi goes to. If you're Disney and you're EA,
well,
it's a missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity if you don't somehow link the two, even if it's just a slight tenuous link, man. I think that would be a huge missed opportunity for EA, and that'd create excitement. People would be stoked for that. I don't know why you always want to shit on Star Wars, Pete. Your name's like Jedi Knight Peter. It's craziness.
All right. So
how am I shitting on Star Wars?
So question: with the Fallen Order, it takes place 5 years after Revenge of the Sith. So when does Obi-Wan take place? The show
10 years after. So the kids are 9 years old, so Luke and Leia are 9 years old. So it's 10
there you go.
years after Revenge
So
of
now
the Sith.
think about it. So this is 5 years after. That means it's a year after Kenobi. There's your answer. So very well he can actually appear in the show. It's very true. So I think he will.
Look, I can't see it happening. I can't see it happening at all because they would have to go to Tatooine in order for them to run into Kenobi. And I just can't see that happening at all.
Yeah, but it could be at the
I
back
think
end of
they're
the
just
show.
gonna
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they're just going to stay away from that. Like I said,
don't know.
knowing that Disney was going to
Because
make
you see,
a
he even
Kenobi show.
he left Tatooine on the show, so you see what I mean. They can
Yeah, but
expand.
there's a
on
very
that.
important reason for that. And
Right.
I'm not sure if that would have been written by the time that they were making the narrative for Jedi Survivor. And like I said, to stop any, entanglements in the story, because I don't think either of them would have been knuckled down. And these stories, especially for Jedi Survivor, would have been written, 3 years ago at a minimum? So,
I
just can't see that. I
don't know if
see
it was
that
written that long ago, but I mean, I don't know. I think it's more fluid than that. I think their planning is deeper too, because they just have all these timelines and lore
Do you
to
think
consider.
Disney Star Wars actually has an idea of what they're doing with the story of Star Wars?
I
Oh,
do.
no, that's a joke, mate. That's
Look
a joke.
at all the stuff they have plotted out. I think you all give them too little credit. Look at all these
Nah,
shows they got coming
that's-
out right here. Of course,
Did
they
you
got
see
it
the
planned out.
trilogy?
I've seen the trilogy, but
It's
skip
a
that.
joke,
Look
mate.
at what they got on Disney Plus, though. It's like you could say that trilogy, but then you look at these shows. These shows have been great, legitimately.
Mando.
So I disagree.
Yeah,
I
look, The
think they've done a great
Mandalorian's
job
great,
overall.
but listen, look what they're doing with Obi-Wan in terms of
You're not liking
destroying
it?
the law.
You're basing that destroying of the law. We're going to move off Star Wars in a minute, and I'll let you come back. I'll let you come back, Pete.
There's no
because-
arguing with Pete.
No, but they're not destroying the law. You're basing that whole law on one phrase, and a phrase that is tenuous, and they can write in quite easily. Like I could sit down now and probably have it written in 2 hours.
You're absolutely wrong, Risket. Like I don't want to have this conversation with you because you're just flat out wrong, mate.
No, it's not wrong. It's one phrase, man. It's one phrase. I haven't felt this since, and now I am the master. Like there's always as we said, like the Sith-
Obi-Wan and Vader met on Revenge of the Sith, and they didn't meet again till A New Hope, and Obi-Wan is destroying
There is
that.
nothing that says that.
It's a joke.
There's nothing that says that. Nothing.
You read into it. It's not like movies made in today where every little detail needs to be explained to you. You actually use common sense, mate.
It's not even common sense, Pete. It's not written in.
Settle down.
It's
Settle
not.
down.
It's not
Fight.
law.
Let
not
them
law.
fight, cutie.
No, we can have this conversation all day, man. Like it is not law.
your
Like
thighs,
there's
guys.
nothing that says they haven't met. And
Fight
there's
with
always
your thighs.
there's
Well,
always
yes,
two.
There is.
There's always two. There's a
Obi-Wan, I
master
didn't
and an
answer,
apprentice.
mate.
Right? So
Fight him too. No, I'm joking.
like I said, the last thing I'll say, and I'll let you
let's
respond.
move on, Risket.
The last thing
Let's
I'll say,
move on.
and I'll move on, and I'll let you respond if you want to. But there's always two: a master and an apprentice. And the master is Palpatine, the apprentice is Darth. So the phrase makes sense. It's an easily written in meeting. But I will leave it there before we try to strangle each other to death.
With your thighs.
With our thighs. Enough of the thighs. So Fable.
It was Brenda.
What
Thank you,
about
Boba? I haven't felt your presence since In the Bin. I agree, mate. You're a legend, Boba. See, true Star Wars fan right there.
Yeah, but he
Run
hasn't
off
even played
into the
Fallen Order,
happiness.
and he hasn't even completed it. So I mean, I've seen his trophies. Fraud daylight, caught in fraud daylight. Look, we'll move on to Fable and the response from the lead producer on scoping. This came from Gaz, like a friend of the show. Gaz made a comment on his podcast that things are quite bad because they are scaling down they are apparently scaling down their production of Fable to make it smaller so they can make it work with their engine. And this is something that the lead producer said. I wanted to clear something up about scoping. It's a normal, necessary, and healthy part of game development. I can guarantee that every single AAA game you've ever played will have gone through scoping regularly during development. Its intention is to make sure the team are focused under one clear vision and can get it made in the time they have without killing themselves. Games that haven't been properly scoped correctly often have delays and crunch. Both we should be aiming to avoid whenever possible. Ash and Luca, I think this is pretty clear that it says that things are on track, but Fable's a lot earlier in development than anyone expected. What was your take on this?
Yeah, my take on it is that Fable's coming out in like 2028 or something. Like it's gonna be
Please
a while,
no.
man. It's gonna be a while, man. I don't know, like I
Please
don't have an
Lord no.
issue with waiting or anything like that, but um I think it's gonna be a while personally.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're looking at maybe 2025, which is upsetting. But do you reckon we're going to see it at the showcase? Do you think they'll drop at least something?
If they drop something, it's gonna be like a CGI thing. I think.
You can't do
So.
CGI twice. I think we're that big CGI show, right? And everyone kicked up, and I was kind of of the opinion, and I think most of the community are you of the opinion that CGI once is cool, but then we want to see gameplay.
Yeah, no,
Yeah. No, I think I am of that opinion. It would be nice to see some gameplay.
Absolutely. Umbra, do you think we're likely to see any gameplay coming out of Fable, considering this latest news from the lead developer?
I think they'll show us at least how the world looks and things like that, and the character builds. Like how we like the character animation. Let me say that over the art style of the characters and things like that. I'm hoping that we see gameplay. At this point, I'm kind of nervous that we might not, and it seems like we'll be waiting till 24 maybe for this, if not 25.
Mm.
That's what it's sounding like. But I'm hoping we'll see something. I just don't know at this point. But I've maintained that we would see something from Fable at this show here. I think. I just don't know in what capacity that would be.
Yeah.
But they did alleviate the fears of that. What's her name? Loke, right? She did come out and speak about that. Amy Loke, senior producer. So she said it's a normal thing. I don't know anything really about the scoping part, but obviously it's something that every game goes through, and it just to establish the overall vision of the game and kind of execute things and I guess pull things down to how they need to be. So I didn't know anything about that until I read her talking about it. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy to hear that it's not something unique to them, because when I first read that, easily the fear goes out immediately, because that's people don't have context or anything. So I didn't even know that it was about Gaz saying what he said.
Yeah,
But,
I know, right?
know.
Gaz is getting big.
Yeah.
You big man,
That's
Gaz.
pretty funny.
Look, I have to add here about scoping and what that is. It's actually a normal business practice that a lot of different businesses, not just development studio and publishing houses, use. It's called many different things. Scoping, obviously for these guys, but it's often called scope of works. And you'll normally have a scope of works early in your, for these guys, development, but early in you taking on a contract. And what that lays out is the scope of works will normally lay out how many people you'll have, how many contractors you'll have, what equipment you need, your timelines. Absolutely. It's basically a long-term plan for what you plan to do with that business contract from its inception to its completion. So yeah, I did not know that that development studios used scope of works, but I mean, it makes sense now that she's come out and said that. So to me, it's not something to worry about. It's a very, very good thing to scope a game. I think to make sure that they do have a timeline and they know where they're headed. But I don't think it completely stops delays. Red Dead Panda. Do you think we'll see gameplay from the showcase of Fable? I want it. Give it to me.
I want gameplay. Fable is the reason I got into Xbox in the first place, so I really want gameplay. But I think I'm happy to wait till the end of the year. I want to kind of let whatever's going to be shown at the showcase breathe a bit, because we know that Fable isn't coming anytime soon. Specifically, I reckon 2024. So I'd rather them focus on other games that are coming sooner than Fable, because we know in advance, like, we don't want them to show too far in advance, because then anything can happen. They're not gonna stop this game at all. But I do like the fact that they're talking about re-looking at the scope of the game, and that's a good thing. You never know unless you you never know what's going on, and we don't want them to make it too big. Because this is the first time they've done a RPG style game, so I think they're doing the right thing. They're going slow. They're making sure that they're keeping it in line with what they are capable of, and they're hiring whoever they need to. But it would be nice. But I would say just hold off on the gameplay for this point, because they're in that point where things could change, and what we see today might be something completely different later on, and we might go, well, you had this feature in, why is it not in now? And so I think rather than creating false expectations for us, just tell us or show us what's actually going to be in the game, specifically that is definitely going to be in there. But
Yeah, well, that's the
I'm
point.
dying for Fable.
Well, that's the point we're at with where they do a CGI. You know, I mean, we were talking about God of War earlier, and Hargeet was of the opinion the other day that it would cost a lot of time, but it doesn't really cost a lot of time to put together a showing of gameplay if you have an almost complete game. There's a section of the game that you could just polish, get some gameplay cap, throw in a couple of little cinematics, and away you go. And that doesn't really hurt the dev team too much. But I think you're right at this point, with Fable being so early in development. Yeah, I think it'd be a bit of a misstep to try and put too much onto the gameplay because, as you said, things may change. Doom Cutie, do you think we're going to see Fable at the showcase? Or
Yes. Yes. Oh, oops.
What? Umbra.
I was trying to fill in for you. You know what I'm saying? Until
I
you
didn't
get
know
back.
you could go that high.
Oh yeah.
You should see a thigh kick.
I love you, Panda. Gameplay of Fable. Look, I hope so, but I don't think so. I know Risk It, you seem to think all these things are very easy to do. We know how, you think you could do a much better job than Phil about running Xbox constantly.
Mainly 343, right?
no, I never said I could do a better job than Phil. I said I could do a better job than Bonnie Ross. I can write checks like you wouldn't believe. Yep. Go.
I think if there's anything, I don't think it'll be gameplay. I'm sorry, Risk It, don't hate me.
Yeah, no, look, no, it's got nothing to do. Not at all. Like, I don't think gameplay from Fable's a likely thing either. Just because putting together a gameplay short from a game that's early in development is going to be infinitely harder than putting together a gameplay short from a game that's already completed. I mean, that just makes sense to me, right, Red Dead?
Yeah, I'd agree with you.
Yeah. Oh, you're agreeing now. No, I think yeah. When people see gameplay, they really think that, yes, that is what I'm going to experience. That is the game. And they will immediately pass judgment just on that and nothing else. So I think
Division is case in point, isn't it? Like when we saw the Division for the first time, it wasn't, it didn't end up to be what we actually played.
No.
yeah, that's exactly right. So yeah, there won't be gameplay. It's not ready yet. But I think it will be mentioned. We might get some pretty pictures. Is that okay with you, Risket?
No, because CGI.
No, I don't
CGI
think
wants,
we will.
Yeah.
No, they already, like, going to Umbra's point that he wanted to see the art style. We saw the art style in the trailer with, with the frog eating the fairy, which was hilarious. And, I'm so glad they showed it because it showed that they haven't lost that Fable humor, which made the show so popular. And so I think the next time we see it, it won't be until we actually get some gameplay. I think we've seen the art style now. Let them have the time.
I don't think that was
they
our
need.
style, though. I don't think that was our style, Jed. I think that was just a little target CGI. Like, I would have to see the characters. Like, that animal,
Yeah,
like,
maybe
frog is not going to do it.
Yeah, maybe some.
There was
like
more
open
than a
world
frog.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
They showed the fairy and the
walk-
frog. I don't even think we'll see a fairy inside the gameplay, personally. But no, I think we need to see, like, the characters, like, how we look.
The
That's what I'm saying.
landscape as well.
Yeah, and the
so
landscape.
how are they going to do that in a way that people would actually be happy for? Would you want it to be in a trailer form, or would you want it it won't work. They're just not going to go up and show pictures like they did for
For me, like, they're far
Starfield.
enough. They have to be far enough where they can put together a little vertical slice and show us something. Like, at this point,
not if they're still scoping the game.
Yeah, but the game is scheduled for, like, what, 24? That's what the rumor is, right? So 24, maybe 25. I would say 24. That's what most insiders have pointed
But
to.
it's still
Whatever.
very,
You don't know that to be
very
the
early
case.
in development. Absolutely not ready to be shown.
I don't know. I think they have enough time, personally, but we'll see. But I think that
I
they could
totally
show
disagree.
at least they can
And
show.
I think
a
it will
gameplay.
only hurt it showing
Hang
it now
on.
when it's not
Let
ready.
Umbra finish what he's saying. Go on, Umbra.
I don't know, but I feel like at the very least, like, there's plenty of ways they could showcase what the world looks like. They could say, this is the world of Halo. Excuse me, Halo on my mind. This is the world of Fable, and they can say like play the little whimsical music or whatever it is, right? While they zoom in and show the sound, the towns or something like that.
Like a
Show the
flyover.
character work. Yeah, they don't have to do anything like super deep or anything like that. And trailers don't have to be but what, a few seconds, like maybe 30 seconds or something like that. I
Max.
think they have more than enough at that point to show that, I think. But we'll see. I think that's what they'll do. Personally, I think they'll showcase something, even if it's not gameplay necessarily. They're going to show us exactly what the art styles of these characters and world look like. I think.
Pete, you disagree?
Yeah, I look. I think that we saw the art style of the game in the trailer that they showed at last E3. I think that was more than enough to show what the art style of the game's going to be, what the sense of humor that the game's going to have in it, what the world of Albion's going to look like. I don't think that they really need to show any more than that until they're ready to show gameplay, and I think you will do the game a disservice by showing another trailer because it won't satisfy the appetite of people that are wanting to see more, and all it's going to do is create more questions than answers. So, yeah, I really think that it'll be doing the game a disservice if you do that. So, give them the time they need. I think Playground Games are an amazing developer. This is the first time they've gone into the RPG scene. They're moving away from Forza Horizon, which they're world class at. And the Force Tech engine is world class. And so I don't think this scoping thing is bad at all. I like that they came straight out and push back at the comment that Gaz made. I think it's hilarious that a comment that Gaz made on a show was written about so widely. I love that. I think it's great. It shows the impact that these podcasts have. Which is really, really cool. But to get a senior developer at Playground Games to come back and push back on that statement straight away just shows that they are listening to the community. And since they are listening to the community, I think that they won't show until they're ready.
I think I agree with that point, but you were wrong about one point. You said they showed it at last year's E3. That wasn't last year. They showed it in 2020. So that's 2 years from now. That's more than enough time for them to show something at this point. And they've been working on it for, at that point, already that was 3 years. Right here, they're at this point, they'll be like, close to 5. So I think they'll have more than enough to show something at this point, personally. Plus, them talking about the scoping process. Like when you get to that point right there, that's not something that's super early right there, right? Isn't that something that's more towards the middle parts of things?
No, it's normally at the beginning. You normally scope, businesses will scope at the beginning to make sure they don't overrun on cost is the main reason to find out what they need, if the contract works for them. And if they're going to make money out of it, then they do projections and stuff based on their scoping. But however, Umbra, you could be right. They might be there might be more than one scoping process. So they might do it at the beginning, rescope in the middle. And I think it did say rescope was I think the terminology she used. Could be wrong. And then they may scope again at the end. I'm not 100% on that, but I know that scoping is definitely 100% done at the beginning for sure, to make sure that they've got a target, a direction for the team to chase. So yeah, it could be in the middle, man. You could be right. Absolutely. But you're right. Again, it has been roughly about 5 years since they've...
It's been a minute.
Yeah,
It's
reported.
been a minute, and I think we go off stuff we see on the internet. Like we'll talk about it's having a rough process getting things done and things like that. We see these rumors of that, and I think we kind of take that and run with it because it's been cases of them saying they had issues with the Forza Tech engine and so on and so forth. But we haven't heard anything confirmed until Amy stepped out and said no, scoping is normal, blah blah blah, and nothing to worry about, or whatever. I think her even coming out to say something to me points to the fact that they might show something to me.
Yeah.
That feels like, I think like even coming out to say something at this point when she didn't have to say a word maybe alludes to that. But then I guess obviously they had to stop the fire too. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I think it would be a really good thing for them to show Fable, just to kind of put out that Starfield fire. But I personally don't think we're going to see it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. We'll move on to our last topic before we do outros. A little short topic. It wouldn't be Xbox Infinite if we didn't talk about Halo at least just once, right? So, again, 343 are doing some pretty good things over there right now, man. I know I've been extremely hard on 343, particularly Bonnie Ross, but they're doing some good things. They're doing content drops. There's new modes come out. However, I haven't played this, so I'm not going to speak on it too much from a personal level because I have dropped off Halo a little bit. Look, just because of the constant disappointment. I just can't do it, man. It's heartbreaking. It's so good. The game's so good. There's just these little bugbears I need to get sorted.
Still loving it, man. I'm still loving it. I want to jump on after this. You down, Jedi? What's up?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to play.
Let's get some in. I played some earlier, man. I'm still loving it, Risk. I got to say.
Yeah, look,
even with the issues.
It's a great game. I'm not saying it's a bad game. The bones are there. I've always said it's a great game. But this new content drop that they've dropped with Shoddy Snipers, all they had to do was make it Shoddy Snipers. And they've added in a whole bunch of other crap throughout the mode, which kind of ruins it. And people are just dropping straight out of the matches when they're not getting the Shoddy Snipers weapons. Pete, what's going on there?
Yeah, so what they've decided to do is add the snipers mode, which is great. Love Shoddy Snipers. I played it the other day. I went 21-8. I was loving it. Next game, it was Stalker Rifles and
Manglers.
Plasma.
Oh, Plasma Pistol.
Plasma Carbines. That's not a sniper rifle. You know, Stalker Rifles aren't a sniper rifle. And then they also have Brute Snipes, which is skewers and manglers. So if you miss your skewer shot, you basically have to revert to your mangler because it takes so long to reload. And then they didn't implement the shock rifle, which is more of a sniper rifle than the stalker rifle is. So it's very strangely implemented. I don't quite understand what 343 were thinking. It's always one step forward, two steps back. Saying that, when you actually play Shoddy Snipers, extremely fun game mode to play. It really is. It's great fun. And you're right, Risket. There is a problem of people dropping out, especially when they get the Stalker Rifle mode. I've played it a few times now, where as soon as that mode comes up, half my team drops. So basically makes it unplayable, which is incredibly disappointing. I'd also like to mention one thing. We've been crying out for them to fix the challenges, and so there's not so many capture the flags or oddball matches that you need to do challenges in, because it just takes so long to get that game mode when you're in when you're in quick play. It seems they've done that. The challenges this week have been absolutely excellent. So they're asking you to get kills with a particular weapon or just play PvP in general. No game mode specific challenges unless it's a game mode that you can pick directly from one of the choices. And also, land grab is a fantastic mode. It's one of my favorite modes in the game. Yeah, incredibly fun to play, especially with a team. Very tactical. So yeah, they are implementing changes. They're getting there. They're almost there. And look, and I'll also point out that none of this was on the roadmap. So all of this came as a surprise, and it's a very welcome surprise. But I also don't understand why it wasn't on the roadmap. It would have alleviated so many people's problems with the game if they actually pointed out that this was coming. Showed them that there was more content, more modes coming.
I don't think they knew. I mean, Joe Staten said in that thing that's the reason that they're doing the pod drops. They don't know when they're going to have. I think they're having trouble scoping. Hey, we're going to use that word a lot now.
Yeah,
no, I think they're having a lot of trouble.
In a pod drop, Risket. Like the first pod drop's meant to be coming June 28th. This wasn't even a pod drop. I get your point. I get that they knew that they didn't know exactly when it was coming. But they would have had to have had. Yeah,
but we've been having goes at them for holding back modes. This is great that they're just like, right, it's ready, ship it. And Joe said that's what he wanted to do. And so that them doing this, look, even with what you're saying absolutely makes sense. If it was on the roadmap, people would have been like, "Oh, cool, we're getting this and this and this." If they didn't know, and Joe's holding true to his promise, right? This is something that's been a problem with 343. He's holding true to a promise. He said, "When we've got something, we're going to ship it straight away. It's going to be in the game." And now that he's done it, like what with one mode. Look, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're starting to feel a little bit more positive about the state of Halo. If this is what they're going to be doing, man, I'm you might get me back. I'll play the game.
I'll say, like, the thing with the playlist, sorry to cut you off, Pete. I just want to say the thing about the playlist now, like, the Snipe Slayer obviously is the closest to the classic, what we're looking for, right? Because it got that we have the S7 Sniper, we got the Bulldog. So that's obviously pretty close. The problem is, like, the Brute Snipers is even cool, Brute Snipes mode, but the Skewer is so slow. Right. So that fits within it, right? But obviously, like you pointed out, Covey Snipes. Exactly.
Fits. Yeah.
Exactly. But Covey Snipes is the problem. That's what they need to get rid of, because the Stalker Rifle does not kill in one shot. Right.
Exactly.
That's the problem. So if they, unless they put that Covey mode into like a SWAT style, then it would be fine. If they put it SWAT style where, one hit will kill you, then no problem.
But I do hate tactical snipers with the Stalker Rifle, so I don't like that weapon. That could have something to do with it. But I 100% agree with you. My point is that there could be people out there that won't even know that they've added shotty snipes into it. There was nothing on the roadmap. There hasn't really been any marketing saying that, this is out. There hasn't been anything saying that they've changed the challenge system. So people could be waiting for these modes, and because it wasn't on the roadmap, they don't actually know that it's there. So it could actually be, detrimental to the player count, which is not something that you want from a live service game.
No, absolutely. Hey, if you've just joined if you've just joined, hang on. If you just joined us in the show, please hit the like, hit the subscribe button. J Rock, welcome to the chat, man. Thank you for coming in, showing your support. Doom Cutie.
Yes.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna ask, do you play Halo?
Do I play Halo?
No, she's talking to me.
Oh, you go.
Yeah. Not right now. Not currently. I got about 76 hours in the multiplayer. I just had a lot of issues with the launch of season 2, and my chat and my people were like, "Stop complaining about Halo. We don't want to hear it anymore." So I haven't been back in a couple weeks.
Oh, well, you can complain here all you want. Tell us what you think. Go.
Yeah, I just overall I don't know, man. It's just, man, they just screwed up. They screwed up, They just screwed up. I don't know what else to say. They screwed up, man.
I love the enthusiasm in your voice.
She's so disappointed. She doesn't even have words.
It's just, I was really looking forward to coming back to it. Like Destiny and Halo Season 2, the new Destiny season, Halo Season 2 dropped like at the same time. And I was talking to my boys and I was just like, they're like, yeah, I don't know which one we're going to do. I'm like, no, we're going to be on Halo, obviously. And then I hop in Halo and it's like the concerns I had about the challenges, they weren't addressed. I went in and did some of my challenges, but my challenges weren't counting. And I was just like, you're kidding, right? You're joking? Once again, this is just happening. I went into the Rumble playlist, and I got this really odd game mode. It was like Oddball, but with rocket launchers, and there was like 12 people, and yeah, and like I was just like, what's the point of having rocket launchers in Oddball? How does this even work? And it was weird. I was like, this is a weird, like, sure, it's fun as like a party thing, but this is a weird decision, a weird choice. And so it's like, I was just playing through it, and ultimately the fact that my challenges weren't tracking, and the fact that progression was taking so long due to my challenges not tracking, and then not addressing my issues, and then there's the desync thing. I'm like, no, I definitely hit that person in the head. I definitely hit them in the head. I definitely punched them. I don't understand why this is still happening. I was very disappointed, and I was just like, all right, well, I'll be back for season 5 or something. I don't know. I don't know, man.
Look, three seasons kicks off.
I agree with you. And the problem with Rumble Pit is you have to play it single player. Like, you're not even allowed to play it with your friends. It's just a strange decision. And
Yeah.
I just
It is
one that I
odd.
don't understand.
It would
Yeah.
definitely be a lot more fun if you were like playing those weird game modes with your buddies. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I
look,
don't know.
they're the
Overall,
ones that J Rock's in the party. They're the ones that J Rock usually comes up with in his community game night, and they are incredibly fun to play with friends.
That's
Yeah.
it. It's
Yeah.
a custom game thing that can be done. We don't need 343 wasting their time
Can't
setting
wait
up
for Forge.
solid modes. Yes, Panda, I
Yeah,
was about to get to you because I know that you are a recent lover of Halo and you do love Halo. Just are you disappointed a bit with what's been going on? But then you a little bit look, I'm a little bit more positive, man. If they're gonna start dropping content just on a semi-regular basis. Sorry about my dog going crazy in the background if you can hear him. He's a nutcase Staffy. On a semi-regular basis, is your outlook a bit more positive for 343? Because it is for me. I got to be honest.
Initially, when season 2 dropped, I was disappointed with it. But yeah, this is my first Halo multiplayer I've played, so I'm loving it. And through community game night with you guys introducing me to it, and now I'm obsessed. And I play it like almost every day. But yeah, season 2 was a bit of a disappointment. I think I was really, really hard on Last Spartan Standing, and then once they fixed the challenges and such, it did improve, and I actually started to enjoy that. But I really loved Rumble Pit with Oddball, and just free for all Oddball was great.
Vampire
yeah,
Oddball's wicked too. Man. That's cool.
It's just really hard, like, because you can't just go, like, if you've got a challenge and you want to go do it and you need a specific map, there's no, or like mode, you can't just go and select that mode. So there's lots of work that needs to be done in that space.
Have you
to
seen the
improve it.
challenge system update, Panda? Because there are no specific modes anymore, and I know, like I tried to mention it before.
Oh, they've fixed it.
They have fixed it, and there was no fanfare about it. They haven't mentioned it, but I haven't had one challenge where I need to do oddball or one challenge where I need to do capture the flag. So I think they've actually fixed it.
Now it's just use this weapon that I refuse to use.
Faith Wallace in the chat's just asked a question, man. So I'll just quickly address that. Yeah, look, Sony State of Play was a strong one. We talked about that at the beginning of the show, so we won't speak on it again now. But yeah, just feel free to jump back to the start of the show and have a listen. Yeah, Sony State of Play was a strong one.
Well, I didn't get a chance to give my thoughts on that since I missed out a little bit on that.
Well, go on then.
Maybe I can give her a quick thought. I thought it was a solid State of Play overall, but it was more solid because it was a bunch of multi-plats. So, this was like a preliminary, like, I guess showcase for Xbox fans too, in a way. So for that reason, I was excited for it. But I don't know. I guess if they didn't really showcase anything first party wise that impressed me personally, and I don't care for VR, as I've said on previous shows. So if I had to rate it, it would be like maybe a 6 because it wasn't anything first party focused enough that captured me. But if I had to give it on an overall because of what we saw that I know was coming to Xbox too, I would give it like an 8.
Yeah, it was a good solid showing, man, and I don't think anyone, if you're on a PlayStation or the Xbox side, can complain. Nah, you're all good, Faith. You turn up whenever you want. We don't have a time limit on the chat. You guys rock out as you need to. Going back to you, Panda. Are you feeling more positive?
Yeah, I think initially season 2 was a little bit sad, but like I am generally pretty positive around it. Like I haven't really been jaded by the fact that I don't really play PvP games, so I probably have less expectations around what makes a good PvP game than you guys do because I play a lot of PvE and other stuff. But I'm excited. I'm just a bit sad about the 6 months waiting for that. But it has been nice that they have been adding extra modes in, like almost on a weekly basis or something at the moment. So you've got land grab, you've got snipers, you've got Team Rumble, you had oh my god, King of the Hill, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot more modes coming in, and even quick plays a little bit more diverse around what it gives you. But it's the maps. I think that's where their shortcoming is now for me, is the maps, and I want more diversity around the maps.
Content, yeah. They are light on content, be it modes or maps, even though they've just dropped two
The gunplay is good though.
Yeah, the bones, man. We know the bones at Halo are good. That's why it's so disappointing. If they brought it out and it was crap, no one would care. It would have been a non-issue, and no one would be talking about it now. Still to this day, no one would be talking about it because it would. But it's not. It's a great game. It's just so content light. It's almost laughable. And I'll just say it one more time. Sack Money Ross. Doom Cutie, are you starting to feel a little bit more positive around Halo?
I haven't touched it in like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
But like,
same.
I know. Well, first of all, because of Fortnite, it's just so bright and shiny, and I just, I could
It
anyway.
must be the thighs. Is it the thighs in Fortnite that get you
My
drawn to it?
my skin's thighs, not my skin's thighs, but anyway, the skins of Fortnite, very very good.
I just got my Obi-Wan skin yesterday. Loving it.
I know he looks fantastic. He finally
Yeah,
You
scrub
guys
with no,
did not
he's finally
deserve
not skinless.
to own a Series X console. At all.
$22 to get one skin, so yeah, that
Get a
was
Series
that was
X
painful.
console, and this is what you people do with it. Oh my god!
Yeah, right. You know, I haven't touched Fortnite ever. I've never played that game.
No,
You'll
never.
start.
It's fun, mate. Yeah,
Come
it's
and
fun.
play
I
with
watched
us.
it.
My sister.
I watched it and I was like, no, thank you. I was like, nope. But I might have to
Especially
try
the
it out.
no build mode, Umbra. It's actually quite fun, mate. Trust
Yeah.
me, right?
No
Play it.
build mode.
I'll
You'll
tell
have
you
a good
what.
time.
You, Jedi, you and Cutie, y'all run me through it, and I'll
Yeah,
play it.
trios. Let's go.
Yeah,
There
oh
we
my
go.
Done,
God.
mate,
This
done.
is
Back
not
to
a meeting
Halo.
place for Fortnite players.
Back to Halo. From what I hear, look, it could be improving. I like that they have, they released the roadmap, and then they've sort of, they've responded to the community and the complaints, and they've added things in to try and correct things. So yeah, I mean, that is a positive step, and I think, good on them for keeping on top of it and keeping a close eye from what I can hear from everyone. But in saying that, I'm probably moved away from the PvP side a little bit, and I'm probably more interested in getting more PvE stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
More campaign stuff.
Yeah.
So I wanted to address one question. Doovie asked Halo
Yeah, I saw
1v1
that.
with myself
I
and,
answered.
and Jedi, who would win? I would humbly say we would probably be even.
I
But
said we're evenly
I
matched,
would
but I will destroy him.
decimate Jedi Doovie. You should see us in our community nights. We go at it all the time. But
Yeah, and very
Yeah.
even scored, always.
typically I
Always.
get like 2 more over him at the end of it, though. But yeah.
Oh,
No,
shit,
what
I
you need to
got
do
it right
is-
there, mate.
You need to do a custom match where it's just you two, and
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
Notice
do it for,
how he
like-
didn't ask me, because it's a foregone conclusion that I would just smash.
You would just get assist. You wouldn't even get your own kills.
We would probably just tag team and just kill you and then focus
That's
on each
what
other
would
after
happen.
that.
That's what would happen. You'd have to. There's no other way to win. Look, we've got everyone's take on that. So look, I'll move on. It's a bit of a short show this week, guys. There's not much news happening, and I think the next couple of weeks are going to be massive for Xbox. So
Yeah,
there'll probably be a little
massive
bit
one
longer
next
shows,
week,
but
guys.
it's nice to have a nice, short, sharp show every now and again. So I'm actually pretty excited to go just chill out and play a bit of games, because I think the missus
And
thinks
risk
that
it.
it'll be 3 hours.
We
but
are
not.
live streaming the show, aren't we, mate?
We are. We're going to be live streaming the showcase, and that will be on this channel. And I'll have that set up, and we'll probably start a good maybe hour before the showcase comes, so we can just basically shoot the shit before we hit the show. Look, I'll do outros. Ash and Lukey, you've been amazing. Thank you for coming along this week and gracing us with your presence. We really, really appreciate you coming on the show and giving us your takes. You've been amazing. And your show is absolutely amazing. Please let everyone know where they can find you. Tell them about your podcast and what you'll be playing for this week.
Wait, can you hear me?
I got
Yeah,
you.
we've got you, mate.
Yeah,
okay,
we
okay.
can.
Sorry. Okay, so yeah, no, I had a great time. Thank you so much for having me. You guys can find me on Twitter at the Ash and Luca, and you can find me on YouTube at the Ash and Luca. I have a podcast called Scumcast that I host every Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time, which is 7 p.m. Eastern. Wouldn't know what that is in Australian time. Sorry. So, but yeah, it's we have a good time. We've discussed gaming in the first half, and then like pop culture, social issues, things going on in the news, that kind of thing in the second half. So if it's something you'd be interested in, check it out. And then I host a series of one-off videos during the week in which I discuss whatever I want to discuss with my boys. So thanks so much. Thank you so much again.
Yeah.
And it was nice meeting some of you, because I didn't know who some of you were. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
you, Luca. Really enjoyed
Yeah,
having you
thank
on the
for
show, mate.
coming.
Yeah.
Her YouTube channel is linked in the chat, so please get along to that. She does not pull punches and she does not mess around. And I love her Scumcast. I often don't chat because there's a couple of people in that chat. It's all comers. We get people. There's people from PlayStation, people from Xbox. She doesn't discriminate. And I generally keep my mouth shut because there's a couple of people in that chat that really don't.
Yeah, it's I think it's funny because the people, it's like there's a bunch of ponies in there, so the Xbox guys will be arguing with them all show. I'm just like, damn, okay, what's going on? What's happening?
I've seen it.
So, it's fun, yeah.
Yeah, I don't dive in because I don't want to argue in YouTube chats, but I listen, do my housework and stuff. Umbra, we'll go to you because you were a touch late today, man. I know you had a rough week. We won't talk about that, but just let the people know where you're at, where they can find you, man, what you'll be up to for next week, what you'll be playing.
Well, I'm going to be a little behind the scenes. I'm just going to relax a bit, obviously, for obvious reasons for anybody who was paying attention. But I'm going to be playing some games over the weekend just to get my score up for the week. You all can find me, of course, under Umbra Infinite or Infinite Umbra on Twitter. And if you do want to join in with us and get decimated like Jedi does by me in Halo, you can find me under Superhavoc on Xbox. I would give you the PSN, but I'm never going to play multiplayer game with you more than likely. So what is the use? I was just going to say thank you, Panda, for coming through. And Luca, of course. Luca, I met Luca maybe last year, I think maybe 7 months ago, 8 months. And Luca has been... just for me, and I've always spoke highly of you, Luca, just so you know. I appreciate you, and you've seen me say this to you before, but I think you have a very a fair mind, and I really appreciate that about you. You don't rush to judgment on anything, and you take a very even approach to things. You're very even-minded, and I appreciate that about you, that you're fair. And you run a great podcast yourself as well. And so I just appreciate you coming through and gracing us today.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I try to keep it mellow, if you know what I mean. I try to just wait for more information. I don't like rush into conclusions about anything. So
yeah, look at I will definitely say that. That's why I was drawn to your podcast for I won't go into why, but I was drawn to the podcast to listen in, and when I did listen in, I mean, I thought it was it's awesome. It's really good to just hear someone being flat out, up and down, straight up, doesn't mess about, and tells it like it is. And like you said, you do have a fair mind. So thank you again for coming, Doom Cutie. Thank you. 4th show, and amazing to have you back. Better and better every week. Let us know where we can find you, what you'll be playing for the rest of the week. Or we can go to someone else.
Yes, you can find me on Fortnite.
I just wanted to say to Faith as well. We went through the games we thought were coming earlier on in the show. In the show, so yeah, just rewind it, mate, and we give our thoughts on what we think is going to be going to the showcase earlier.
Yeah, it's my 1 month anniversary, guys. I haven't received my gift yet from Riskit.
Do you know what
No, don't singing. Yeah.
It's our
Steph is causing havoc
anniversary.
How
in the chat.
do I mute it? Yeah.
Yeah, 1 month on the show. It's been a hoot, to say the least. This past week I've been working on the podcast Instagram, so I'm a bit of an Instagram queen. Well, I don't know.
You've been doing a great job with that, by the way.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I just this week, look, I'm gonna play Fortnite again. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm searching for the mute button.
You will bend eventually.
No, never. I don't play kiddie games. I play games for men.
You're like Butterfly.
Butterflies and
Butterfly is a great game for men. Stop it.
Does it give you butterflies?
Every time.
It's a game called Butterfly.
But yeah, thank you so much, and thank you so much to Luca for coming on through. You're a lovely lady, and thank you for the follow on Twitter.
Yes, of course.
I'll have to visit your podcast.
Yeah, I would like that.
Red Dead Panda, thank you for your very, very short notice jump in. As always, your takes are absolute trash. You play trash. You're not a real gamer. No, your takes are always amazing. I love having you here. I love our back and forth. It gets a lot worse in Xbox parties sometimes, but it's always fun, and you're always fun. And I hate you. I hate you a lot.
Thank you for having me, and coming in last minute. I'm happy to jump in and support you guys. We play Halo all the time. Well, Riska doesn't because he's a wuss. But I play with
Not a real gamer.
Pete. I sometimes play with Umbra. Played a bit with Doomy as well. But yeah, just happy to jump in and support you guys. Appreciate it, and thank you. It's nice to meet you, Luca, as well. Been listening to your podcast for a few years now, so yeah, cool.
Yes, very nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, it is awesome having you here, man. Honestly, we really appreciate it. Look, I'll go to the chat. You guys are always amazing. Faith Wallace, man, thank you for coming along. C. Steph, Drawn TJ, Mrs. Joanna Dark's just coming late. You come in right at the end. Ashtray. We had Dealer in. We had Boom. We had some crazy guys in. I don't think they came to see me, which is sad. Boba.
Shout out to my bros, Shout out to my bros.
Yeah, man, they definitely came for you. Italian Clowns. All you guys, Nelson Gaming, all you guys that came through in the chat, you honestly power the show and make it what it is every week. Hopefully next week we've got some good topics to go through. This week was a bit light on topics, so I will apologise for that. And the length of the show, I know we normally go for a marathon 3 hours, but this week we definitely haven't got enough content for that. So when there isn't, I'm going to cut it short. So please hit that like button, subscribe, share it out, let everyone know that we were live, and we'll see you next week.
Later, guys.
Okay, I won't do my outro then.
Oh, fuck.